what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy Arnett being a defensive coach. The defense is very multiple, and they will give you a lot of different looks and a lot of weird looks, and so they're going to try to confuse you. But when you line them up man-to-man, this LSU offensive line, which I think is one of the best in the entire country and maybe only getting better as a rotation develops, including Lance Hurd, which Brian Kelly talked about at his press conference, saying, probably not going to start right now, but will rotate similar to last game. And look, I think that's best, man. I think Miles Frazier's still good enough to play, and I also believe that a rotation helps everybody stay fresher into the fourth. And if there's no great drop-off, that it's okay to engage. Like some coaches are very much, we want 5 guys, we're going to have those 5 all the time. I've always believed that if the guys are good enough, that a rotation can actually work there. But whatever. The point is, this offensive line for LSU is already awesome. They're only getting better with a guy like Lance Hurd emerging, who looks like a giant out there. And the Mississippi State D-line, again, just nothing to write home about. Like, just they just looked kind of okay. More maybe like a little more size, maybe than like the offensive line was bringing to bear. But no, I mean, LSU should dominate in the trenches this game.
Yeah, I was a little surprised watching tape. Nathan Pickering and Nathaniel Watson are players that have played for a very long time at Mississippi State, and they are players that have made plays even against LSU. And
Pickering's 92.
He is 22.
Oh, 20,
if I'm not mistaken.
22 then. I mean, yeah.
He's a very veteran player.
I remember him, yeah.
Watson's 14. Again,
he didn't jump
a player
off
that has been out there and made some plays, but just in this tape against Arizona and Southeastern didn't jump off the page either. Now, the one constant guy is a guy that is going to be right in the middle of the defense is Jet Johnson. Great name, number 44. He's the middle linebacker, limited athletically, but is always in the right spot, is going to go out there and try to make the what?
No, I'm laughing because I said 44 is representative of this entire Mississippi State team, not the most athletic, but disciplined, tough, and pretty good.
Okay.
Right? Like, it's kind of like the whole Mississippi State team. They have a talent deficiency maybe compared to LSU, but, it's not like they just play awful football, but they are limited.
Yeah. Again, this guy's going to play football the right way. He'll be in the right spots and all of that. He's certainly one of the guys that flashes to me on tape. They've got a couple safeties that I really like. Marcus Banks, he's number 1T. Sean Preston, number 7. I think they're really good football players. I think they flash at times, but that's in the back end. The first 2 levels, and certainly that first level, I was expecting more. I was because I've seen it. I've seen it from those guys before, and I'm not sure if it's scheme. I'm not sure what it is, but this was a Power 5 opponent that you were locked in, again, in a dogfight with until overtime. So I don't know why they didn't make the plays, but I saw a lot of leaning on offensive linemen, just kind of got engaged and then just really didn't move their feet. So
yes, absolutely. Like, and then Arizona State's Arizona's O-line, Jake, was nothing really. I mean, if maybe that's what we need to do. We need to get a still image of Arizona's O-line and LSU's offensive line, and you will see what I am talking about. It's why as a state, and it's not like the game was in Arizona, right? Maybe that would be a factor where it's like, okay, well, this is Mississippi State away from home. No, it was in Starkville, exactly where you're going to be going this weekend.
I think you mentioned 94 there. You're asking numbers. Jaden Crumdy, he flashed a couple times.
I think
94.
He had one. He's the only person that, like, at a point on the film, I was like, okay, there was a little power behind that move. There was a little speed there. But again, you're right. Like, Pickering was all right last year.
We talked about him. Remember that he was one of the guys we highlighted coming into the game last year.
I remember we didn't think he was that good, but he was. Or excuse me, I remember not being overly impressed with the Lions last year either. But at least Pickering was making plays. He did not make a lot of plays against Mississippi State. Again, like I mean, Jake, am I wrong if I'm emerging from this and saying that LSU should win this game big? Because I see this film and I don't know how. Like, I don't think there's an excuse for LSU not to win this game by double digits. I know going on the road in the SC is hard. I know that Zach Arnett is probably got some, interesting wrinkles loaded up and ready to try to mess with LSU's heads here, maybe lead them into some mistakes. I know that the defense has looked very susceptible at times. But, again, on a man-to-man basis, you are significantly superior. You should control the lines. Your receivers should be able to make big plays. Jaden Daniels, if Jaden DeLora had some of the success he had, even with the turnovers and everything, Jaden Daniels could take over this game. Harold Perkins, I think, is going to make himself felt. So, no, I don't know, man. I feel like LSU should win this game big, and I'll be disappointed this thing is close, and I will be shocked and appalled if you were to go out there and lose.
Yeah, so listen to what T-Bob's talking about. Like, he's giving you the opponent. He's not going out there saying, oh, man, Mississippi State, little brother, you got to go out there. This is off of the tape. This is based off what we both saw with our own eyes. Like, you have to go out there and do the things we're talking about because you have the talent to do it. We know who you have lining up across from some of these issues Mississippi State currently has right now, and so you have to take advantage. Like, there shouldn't be a time where they can block Mekhi Wingo or Mason Smith one-on-one.
No.
Like, that is a big advantage for you in the middle. And so you have to take full advantage of all that, though. Everything that we're saying, it's great. It sounds good, but you have to go out there and actually do that. Like, you feel good about this offensive front against the defensive front that we've seen on tape over 2 games for Mississippi State. And so you have the clear advantages in a couple of places. And Mississippi State is a team that is doing a lot of new. Not defensively, but offensively, there's a lot of new. We've laid it out for you. You have to right now go out there. I'm going to try to clip a pass. I don't have the iPad where I can clip it, but I'm just going to old school film it on the phone, shoot it over to Taylor, because there's a play for Will Rogers that 9 times out of 10 he makes in the last couple of years that he just looks so uncomfortable trying to make right now.
He looks bad.
And I hate that because I have been a defender of him in any offense. I'm like, he'd be fine. He's got the arm talent. He doesn't look comfortable in this new offense. And maybe 6 games from now, maybe he will. 3 games from now, maybe he will. But he did not on Saturday.
No. Again, just very head-scratching. And look, we did talk about it, though, through things like the transfer portal and NIL, the democratization of college football, the kind of flattening of the middle where you have the funnel coming from the best team losing players and the group of 5 losing players, and it's kind of spreading out and making, kind of maybe a lot of middle-of-the-pack teams get better. Like, so I guess what I'm saying is maybe that's the path, and Zach Arnett finds it, and he puts together a team that more suits what he's trying to do. But this feels like such a square peg in a round hole situation to me. What's the spread on this game, boys? Do we know?
9.5.
Okay. I mean, I would take LSU to cover. I would be disappointed if they don't. I know it's on the road. I know it's in Starkville. I know all of these things. I know it's 11 a.m. But again, LSU should have. I mean, Mekhi Wingo is going to be a problem for them in this game. Harold Perkins, I think I like him. And after hearing Brian Kelly talk about him at the press conference, and again, when we rewatched that Grambling game and just thinking about him more, I think I kind of like him in this nickel Sam role. I think he can develop there, and you can use him to affect the game in a more consistent manner. I think that underneath the surface a little bit, I mean, I sent the stupid PFF post today or whatever where he had like a 90 pass rush grade, a 50% win rate, which was most, to Grambling, whatever. But the point is, he definitely took a step forward from week 1 to week 2, even if there still were mistakes. I think he's going to take a very big step forward this weekend against an offense that just, for me, again, it just feels like a get-right game for a defense that needs it, that needs to gain a little confidence, where a lot of your classic defensive principles will lead you to success here.
Yeah, setting the edge was a real issue for Arizona. So those principles for LSU, set the edge, fly to the football. And if you'll notice, T, I mean, how many times did Mississippi State get the edge and the running back never had to get off his path?
Yep.
Like, he just stayed on his path. They were running stretch lead, and he just stayed on the path and then put his foot in the ground once he got past the tight end block and just got 7-8 yards, right? That stopped by setting the edge, not allowing the running back to stay on his path. You make him cut inside maybe a gap too early or try to bounce everything outside, string it out. Then your athletes, which you have better, are going to take over the game. And so, like, there was fundamental things that Arizona didn't get done that LSU has to get done, and I believe they will get done.
Yeah, I think Savion Jones is going to be excellent this game in terms of setting that edge. I like Swinson as well on the backside. I think that Matt Howell. You know who's got to step up, Jake? It's a position that we've been talking about. I want to see what the inside linebackers do here, because again, this feels like a game in which they could shine, in a game in which they're going to be relied upon and their run fits to and they're going against a good running back, right? And I mean, what's the perspective like there, Jake? Like, when you're a running back, did it feel like, okay, if I'm a center, I'm matching up with a nose guard essentially, right?
Right.
Do you kind of feel like you're matching up with the linebackers?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, without question. That's why whenever I start talking about guys that I played against, it usually starts like with Patrick Willis, and it'll go to Brandon Spikes, and it'll go some of those middle linebackers because that's who you're against 9 times out of 10. Like if you get to the second level, like we start talking safeties, but it's always the Mike linebacker. Like who's the Mike linebacker? Because it's me versus you. And this is like you have their most talented player on offense is their running back, Woody Marks, undoubtedly. Certainly this year. I mean, he has like every school record for receptions almost by a running back, and he's about to, if I'm not mistaken, like set the school record for receptions.
Wow.
That's who he was. Like, because that's what offense he played in. And I didn't know that he could, integrate himself into this new offense. He looks like the only one that really has. And he has and done a really nice job of it. So, yeah, it's got to be Omar Speights, Greg Penn, whoever that is right in the middle versus Woody Marks.
Wow. Yeah, so Penn, Speights. All right, Speights is questionable this game, right?
He looked like,
But the Weeks, the Weeks brothers played some at the end of last week.
This feels like a game that they could play.
I didn't want to say it.
they could play and have some success.
Not a lot of pass coverage responsibility here, guys. It's a good, hard-nosed, old-school, butt-kiss linebacker type of game.
Yeah, Speights did look a little. I hadn't even checked the report or anything, but there was one play going to the north end zone that he looked like he had some issue. I don't know if it was ankle, hammy.
I think ankle
something.
is what. Okay, Taylor, am I correct? I think Kelly said ankle.
Okay.
At the press conference, Omar Speights.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can. I know exactly what play it was.
Also, I should say that I listened to all of Kelly's press conference yesterday. I missed it on Monday. That's my fault. And one thing Brian Kelly does generally do a pretty good job of is providing perspective. Like it's a long season. Things are getting better. Certainly there's stuff that needs to be improved upon, but improvement will come. And that would ring hollow if I hadn't seen it last year, right? And so I do think that's true, and I think that this weekend's a perfect opportunity to start that journey. So, wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.